Hello agents, and welcome to another daily episode of Targeted Loot Today, your daily farming guide for Monday, January 11th. In this series, we cover a lot. We got the Targeted Loot map, Dark Zone exclusives, highlights for the weekly vendor resets, and build and farming suggestions as well. This is Shadow Gaming, and if you're new to the channel and enjoy this video, consider pressing the thumbs up and subscribe buttons below, and if you didn't, a thumbs down. And remember to hit those bell notifications to all so you never miss a daily morning video. Comment below if you have any questions whatsoever. Otherwise, let's get this video started. Alright agents, so starting off in the dark zones and of course vendor reset highlights, which are always in that big bottom left overlay that pops up right now. I just really recommend getting that rail splitter in DZ South with perfect accurate. And of course in the DZ East vendor, the claws out holster. Both of those are 152 DZ resources. Those are my recommendations for the week. And remember that today is the final day before they reset. Now over here in DZ West, we got Foundry Bulwark as targeted loot. I never really recommend farming, Dark Zone unless it's the Dark Zone exclusive. Now over here in DZ South, once again, no Dark Zone exclusive for Arelda Holding, so I do not recommend that. But we do have holsters over here in DZ East today. What you could do is farm out for the Claws Out holster, but really you could also just buy it in the DZ East vendor. So I don't really know what you want to do. If you want to farm for it, go for it. Or if you, are cool with what it's rolled with in the DZ East vendor, then just go ahead and purchase it. Alright guys, now let's go check out what we got on the north side. Alright agents, north side targeted loot highlights, starting off with the invaded missions. So we got Camp White Oak, and then of course American History Museum, Jefferson Trade Center, District Union Arena, and then Tidal Basin Stronghold. For targeted loot, first off I'm going to recommend Overlord at Coney Island Ballpark. You could farm for the Fox's pair of knee pads. They give you 8% damage to targets out of cover. And that's multiplicative damage, the best type of damage you can get in this game, and I always recommend every agent have at least one pair of this. And then of course we got Badger Tough at Coney Island Amusement Park. You could farm for the Zero F's chest piece with perfect unbreakable, great for any DPS hybrid build. Gear system mods over here at Manning National Zoo. Now you can farm this on Heroic if you're looking for some god rolled mods. Otherwise, Kinley College is still closed, and the summit you pick your own targeted loot. So let's go check out now what we got on the west and east sides. Alright agents, west side targeted loot highlights, starting off with the gear sets. My favorite probably, besides Hunter's Fury, is True Patriot at Potomac Event Center today. What you could farm for in my top right card, you will see a True Patriot SMG build. That is 4 pieces of True Patriot, a Sokolov chest piece with Intimidate, and then of course the Memento backpack running the Lady Death and the Mop with 10% armor on kill. That is great for solo, 4-man groups, heroic, legendary content. I highly recommend farming for this. And you're looking for ones rolled with armor, and then you want to roll crit hit chance or crit hit damage on the second attribute. For Hardwired over here at Bank HQ, I do not recommend it. I would farm Rigor instead. It's the successor in my opinion. It actually cancels completely. When you cancel a skill, you get an instant cooldown instead of 30 seconds off of it. And really, that's it for the gear sets, really. Next up, we got rifles at DARPA Research Labs. Now, there's 2 exotics you could farm for, Merciless and Diamondback, both of which I don't really necessarily recommend. I do recommend some named rifles, such as the Surge with Perfect Spike or the Baker's Dozen with Perfect Lucky Shot. And then, of course, we got Bellstone Armory at the Pentagon today. You could farm for the Everyday Carrier with Perfectly Efficient. I never really use this, so I can't recommend it personally. But always remember that the Liquid Engineer with Perfect Bloodsucker is a Dark Zone exclusive backpack. And speaking of backpacks, we got some in Constitutional Hall. You can farm for the 2 exotics, the Memento backpack with kill confirmed, and the Acosta's Go bag with 1 in the hand. I highly recommend farming for the Memento. It is probably the best exotic gear piece in this game. It gives you a skill tier, 170k armor, and 15% weapon damage. Definitely worth getting. And then the last couple we got over here is Helagard over here at Lincoln Memorial for your shield build users. If you want to run that today, you guys are lucky. Lincoln Memorial is probably the best mission to run. And then we got light machine guns at Downtown West, so you can farm for the 2 exotics, Bullet King and Pestilence. With the Bullet King, you never have to reload, which is great. And then of course with the Pestilence, you can get that damage tick to over 1 million per tick. And then for the named LMGs, there'll be a bunch in the bottom left overlay. The Black Friday, though, is a Dark Zone exclusive. I recommend the Carnage with Perfect Sadist on an ongoing directive bleed damage build, or the new Reliable with Perfectly Optimized. Last 2 we got is Providence Defense and Federal Emergency Bunker. You can farm for the Sacrifice with Perfect Glass Cannon. That's going to amplify all damage you deal by 30%, which is multiplicative damage, but amplify all damage you get by 60%, which is why I prefer Intimidate or Obliterate, but this does work on all DPS and skill damage builds. And then lastly, we got assault rifles over here at West End. You could farm for the 2 exotic assault rifles aside from the Eagle Bearer, that's the Chameleon with Adaptive Instincts, and the Capacitor with Capacitance, except for you need to get that first from completing 5 summit challenges. And then of course there's some named assault rifles. There's a bunch in that bottom left overlay that I recommend. I would highly recommend really the Burnout, the Mechanical Animal, and the Test Subject. Those are 3 great ones for sure. Last but not least, we got Petrov at the White House. You can farm for those Contractor's Gloves with 8% damage to armor. Great on any LMG build or if you're stacking damage to armor. Now let's go check out what we got on the east side, agents. Alright, agents, east side target loot highlights. Starting off with gear sets, we got aces and eights over here at Grand Washington Hotel. Now, of course, you can mix 3 pieces of aces and eights, 2 pieces of Heralda Holding, 1 being a backpack with Vigilance or Composure on it, and then the Chain Killer chest piece with Perfect Headhunter, and run that with the Mantis for a 20 million headshot damage build. And you always want your headshot damage above 200%. Next up, we got Strikers at District Union Arena. Now, you always want to run this with 3 pieces to calm down like the Merciless or an LMG. I never recommend using 4 pieces ever. And then Eclipse Protocol at Viewpoint Museum. You can of course farm for my favorite fire damage build, which will be in the top right card now. That's 4 pieces of Eclipse Protocol, the Imperial Dynasty holster, and 1 piece of Golan gear for that extra 10% status effects, which is great with a Stinger and a Stinger Hive and a Chem Launcher fire starter. Last 2 we got is Negotiator's Dilemma at Jefferson Trade Center. This is a great build for ARs, SMGs, and LMGs. I mixed 4 pieces of Negotiator's Dilemma, the Coyote's Mask, or you could use the Memento if you want to. And then of course you could also go with Grupo Sombro gloves or the Contractor's gloves if you're using LMGs like I do with the Pestilence or Bullet King. And then lastly, we got Future Initiative at Capitol Building Stronghold. Remember that the chest and backpack are Iron Horse raid exclusive. So in lieu of that, I would get an Alp Summit chest piece with Empathetic Resolve, and then the backpack with Safeguard. For normal targeted loot, we got Hana Yu over here at Southwest. You could farm for the Force Multiplier backpack with Perfect Combined Arms. Definitely worth getting. It could provide you with 30% extra skill damage. Every 3 seconds that you land a shot on an enemy, you want it rolled with skill haste and skill damage. Next up, we got Empress at Space Administration HQ. Now, Empress is great with that 10% skill efficiency, which is 10% skill health, skill damage, skill repair, skill duration, status effects, all that good stuff. And of course, I'll recommend my favorite turret and drone build in the top right card now. That is 3 pieces of Empress, 2 pieces of Hana Yu, and the Waveform holster. And you're going to run that with Kinetic Momentum on the chest piece, the Force Multiplier backpack, and then the Capacitor rifle, assault rifle, and the Harmony rifle is your secondary. Next up, we got chest pieces at Jefferson Plaza. 2 exotic chest pieces in this game, Tardigrade and Ridgeway's Pride. Now, you can have a teammate drop the Ridgeway's Pride for you, or you're going to have to complete the 2-part series project from the summit. Otherwise, the Tardigrade you can just straight up farm for. It drops better from True Sun's mission, so today would be a better day to get it. Next up, we got masks over here at American History Museum. 2 exotic masks in this game. You got Coyotes for DPS builds and Vial for status effects and skill damage. You can of course farm for the Punch Drunk mask with 20% headshot damage baked into it. Great mask for all high-end headshot damage builds. And then the last few we got is MMRs over here at Federal Triangle. The 2 exotics is the Mantis and the Nemesis. But remember that the Nemesis is a quest-only exotic. You get Puck's blueprint, the Nemesis blueprint from Grand Washington Hotel when it's invaded. And then you craft it over here at the White House, and then it joins the general targeted loot pool. Otherwise, the recommended named MMRs that drop outside of the Dark Zone would be the Ekim's Longstick with Perfect Ranger, and of course the White Death. I would roll the Boomerang talent on it, or Ranger, or Rifleman. Last thing we got is gloves over here at Downtown East. You could farm for the BTSU Data Gloves, of course, that grants overcharge to you or any ally that's at skill tier 6 when canceling or destroying your hive. It's amazing on a lot of different builds. And then, this one's last, knee pads at Judiciary Square. You got a couple of exotic knee pads you could farm for today. So you got the Ninja Bike Messenger knee pads and Sawyer's Ninja for run and gun, up and close, vaulting, and cover to cover. And then Sawyer's is for sitting still because you get, 1% weapon damage every second you're sitting still, up to 30%, I believe. Alright, agents, that's about all I recommend for the DC area. Let's go check out lastly what we got in New York City. Alright agents, last but not least, we got New York City targeted loot highlights, and I'm just gonna start off with the main highlight for New York City, right? We got submachine guns at Financial District area, so anyone looking for that Lady Death, today's the day to look for it and farm for it. You can of course farm for the backfire and the chatterbox if you have completed the quest. If you haven't, I'll put the video in the top right card now. That'll show you in 5 minutes how to get the chatterbox. It's actually quicker than farming SMG targeted loot. But keep in mind that the Lady Death has a 3% chance to drop from open world NYC bosses, and a 7% chance to drop from SMG targeted loot on heroic, 5% on challenging. So if you're running this on heroic and you're getting open NYC bosses, open world NYC bosses, that's a 10% total chance of getting it to drop. The open world NYC bosses reset every 30 minutes, so keep that in mind as well. Also, remember that the Dark Winter and the Apartment are Dark Zone exclusives. You cannot farm for them outside of the Dark Zone, but there is a lot of different niche ways of getting them, like, named item caches and stuff like that. And then, of course, what I do recommend that's a named SMG that drops outside of the Dark Zone would be the Safety Distance with Perfect Outsider and the Garage with Perfect Vindictive. Both of those are great submachine guns for their certain builds. And then of course we got Hunter's Fury over here at Liberty Island. I'll put my favorite Hunter's Fury build in the top right card now, and bottom left overlay, which is 4 pieces of Hunter's Fury, the Death Grip gloves, and then of course the Memento backpack. You run 3 armor cores, 4 weapon damage cores, and a skill tier, and you want to run that usually with the Dark Winter and the Scorpio. Next up, we got shotguns over here at Wall Street. So you definitely want to get the Scorpio with Septic Shock. That's rewarded at season level 55. And then the Sweet Dreams with the Sandman talent, I really don't think is worth it, but sometimes is on skill builds if you want to one-hit kill a red or purple barred enemy. Otherwise, I would stick with the other 4 best shotguns in the game, which is the Rock and Roll Shotgun with Perfectly Extra, which is a Dark Zone exclusive, by the way. And then of course the Mop with 10% armor on kill, and the Custom Inmate 70 and the Marine Super 90. And you always want to roll close and personal for the talent on those. And then Tip of the Spear at Pathway Park, I'm not going to recommend anymore because I just never ever use it or recommend it. Ongoing Directive at the Tombs, there's great 2 bleed damage builds I'll give to you guys. First one being with the Ridgeway's Pride, 4 pieces of Ongoing Directive, and then of course the Anarchist Cookbook with Perfect Wicked Backpack. And the second one being 4 pieces of Ongoing Directive, a Badger Tough backpack with Creeping Death talent on it, and the Vile Mask. And you want to run the Scorpio with both of these. And I also run the Carnage with Perfect Sadist. Just absolute deadly combo. Here's Douglas and Harding if you want to farm that Punch Drunk Mask. Grupo Sombra over here for that 15% crit hit damage for 1 piece. And then 2 pieces for that 15% explosive damage if you're looking for an all yellow Grupo Sombra piece. And then lastly, we got Walker Harrison Co. at 2 bridges. You can farm for the Chainkiller chest piece with Perfect Headhunter. I think that's pretty much mandatory on any headshot damage build. And always keep in mind that the Matador with Perfect Adrenaline Rush backpack, that's Walker Harrison Co., is a Dark Zone exclusive backpack. Well, agents, that is it for your daily farming guide today. If you enjoyed the video, consider pressing those subscribe and like buttons below, and if not, a thumbs down. If you'd like to become a member for extra support and exclusive perks, click the join button below, and thank you to all of my channel members. And remember to always check the video description and pinned comment below for links to support my channel, Shadow Gaming merch, my Discord server, my clan on all platforms, and much more. Take care, agents, and be sure to stay tuned for more daily Division 2 content. This is Agent Shadow signing off. I will see you in the next video. Take care, agents.